the shadowed corners of Japan's cold, quiet towns, whispers of horror linger long after midnight. Here, urban legends are not mere stories. They are warnings, etched into the memories of those who dare to listen. Beneath the surface of everyday life, unsettling truths wait to be uncovered, their origins lost in fog and fear. Tonight, we delve into 3 infamous tales, each more disturbing than the last, and examine the chilling evidence that suggests these legends are more than just folklore. What secrets lie hidden in the silence, and what horrors await those who seek answers. In recent years, Japanese horror has experienced a chilling resurgence across modern media. New films, games, and anime have not only revived classic legends, but also introduced fresh nightmares, blurring the line between folklore and contemporary fear. The psychological horror game Don't Lie immerses players in the fractured mind of a reclusive hikikomori, haunted by a creature inspired by the many-eyed Dodomeki. Meanwhile, the anime anthology Junji Ito Maniac adapts unsettling tales with a modern twist, and Sadako DX reimagines the cursed videotape for a new generation. As these stories spread, the boundaries of reality and myth begin to dissolve, leaving audiences to wonder, are these terrors merely fiction, or have they awakened something darker beneath the surface? To draw viewers into the unsettling world of Japanese urban legends, we employ a carefully crafted ASMR approach. Whispered voices echo through abandoned corridors, while faint footsteps and distant creaks linger just beyond the threshold of perception. These subtle sounds are not merely background noise. They are psychological triggers, amplifying the sense of isolation and dread. The gentle rustle of paper, the soft drip of water, and the almost imperceptible breathing create an atmosphere where reality blurs with the supernatural. As the tension builds, each whisper and ambient cue becomes a reminder that something unseen is always watching, waiting, and listening. In the shadowed corners of Japan's urban landscape, whispers tell of etched, a spirit born from tragedy. According to police records, late-night commuters have reported chilling encounters near abandoned train platforms, describing a sudden metallic scraping echoing through the silence. Witnesses claim to have seen a figure, severed at the waist, dragging herself with unnatural speed, her eyes fixed on those who linger. The legend warns that anyone who meets her gaze is doomed to suffer the same fate, their bodies found mutilated, echoing the horror of her own demise. Yet, no one can explain how she chooses her victims, or why her presence seems to intensify on nights when the city is at its quietest. In the quiet dusk of a forgotten city, the legend of etched was born from tragedy. It began with a young woman whose life was violently severed when she fell onto the tracks of an oncoming train. The accident left her body split in two, her spirit condemned to wander the urban landscape in search of retribution. Locals whispered of chilling encounters, an apparition dragging herself with clawed hands, her presence marked by the eerie, rhythmic sound that gave her name. To this day, the question remains, was etched merely a cautionary tale, or does her restless soul still stalk the night, waiting for the next victim to cross her path? In the quiet outskirts of the city, police reports began to accumulate, each detailing a chillingly similar discovery. Bodies were found near the old railway lines, their injuries defying logical explanation. Archival documents describe investigators unnerved by the precise nature of the wounds, as if something or someone had enacted a ritual far beyond human comprehension. Locals whispered of a vengeful spirit haunting the tracks, but official records could offer no answers. To this day, the cause of these deaths remains a mystery, leaving behind only fear and unanswered questions. In the dim silence of a deserted city street, a survivor recounts the night they came face to face with etched. Their voice quivers as they describe the chilling sound, a rapid, scraping noise echoing from the shadows, growing closer with every heartbeat. They recall seeing a figure, severed at the waist, dragging itself with unnatural speed, its eyes locked onto theirs. The survivor remembers the overwhelming sense of dread, the cold air thick with the promise of violence, and the desperate urge to flee. Even now, they admit, the memory haunts their dreams, leaving them to wonder if the vengeful spirit still waits in the darkness, searching for its next victim. In the quiet corridors of this town, fear has become a constant companion. Residents speak in whispers, their voices barely audible, as if the legend itself might overhear. One woman, her eyes darting nervously, recalls sleepless nights and the feeling of being watched from shadowed corners. Another describes how children refuse to use the school bathrooms alone, haunted by stories passed down in trembling voices. The community's collective anxiety lingers in every conversation, raising a chilling question. What happens when fear becomes a permanent fixture in daily life? Late one evening, an audio recording was anonymously submitted to local authorities. The tape reveals a chilling sequence, the metallic scrape of something dragging itself across the deserted platform, punctuated by distant, echoing footsteps. Investigators replayed the recording countless times, searching for clues, but the origin remains unclear. Was it a hoax, or evidence of something far more sinister lurking beneath the city's surface? The authenticity of the sounds continues to haunt those who have heard them, leaving only unsettling questions in the silence that follows. The disappearance of a young student, last seen wandering near the silent train tracks, has cast a shadow over the town. Police reports detail a frantic search, but no trace was ever found, only the echo of footsteps fading into the night. Eyewitnesses recall a chilling presence, a cold wind, and the unsettling feeling that someone, or something, was watching. Rumors swirl about the vengeful spirit known as etched, her legend revived by this mysterious case. To this day, the community remains haunted, asking, what really happened that night, and could the legend be more than just a story? Our investigation now turns to the unsettling legend of Hanako-san of the toilet. In countless schools across Japan, whispers persist of a ghostly girl who lingers behind closed bathroom doors. Teachers and students alike recall chilling encounters, faint footsteps echoing in empty corridors, the soft creak of a stall door opening when no one is there. Police reports document unexplained disappearances and sightings, each case shrouded in mystery. What compels Hanako-san to haunt these spaces, and why do her appearances coincide with moments of fear and isolation? The answers remain elusive, buried within the shadows of the school's silent halls. Hanako-san's story begins in the shadowed corridors of post-war Japan, where whispers of a ghostly girl haunting school bathrooms first surfaced. According to early accounts, Hanako-san was a student who met a tragic end during an air raid, her spirit forever bound to the third stall of the girls' restroom. Over the decades, the legend grew, passed from one generation of students to the next, each retelling adding new details and deepening the sense of dread. Teachers and police reports document unexplained noises, cold drafts, and sightings of a pale figure, fueling the fear that Hanako-san is more than just a story. Even today, her presence lingers, leaving unanswered questions in the quiet halls after dark. In the quiet corridors of a rural elementary school, archival footage reveals a pattern of unsettling events. School records detail numerous reports from children, each describing strange noises echoing through the hallways and lights that flicker without warning. Teachers recall moments when the air felt unnaturally cold, and shadows seemed to move just beyond sight. Despite thorough investigations, no logical explanation was ever found. The incidents grew more frequent, leaving staff and students alike gripped by an unspoken fear and prompting the question, what presence lingers in these abandoned classrooms? In a quiet interview room, a retired teacher recounts the events of a winter afternoon that still haunt the school corridors. She remembers the nervous laughter of students daring one another to summon Hanako-san in the third stall of the girls' bathroom. The air was cold, the halls unusually silent, and then one student simply vanished. The teacher describes the frantic search, the echo of whispers, and the lingering scent of incense as authorities combed the empty stall for clues. To this day, no trace of the missing child has ever been found, and the third stall remains locked, its secrets untouched. In countless Japanese schools, the legend of Hanako-san is whispered from child to child, its details morphing with each retelling. Psychologists note how these stories, fueled by rumor and ritual, embed themselves deeply in young minds, shaping their perception of everyday spaces like the bathroom into sites of dread. Fear becomes a communal experience, intensifying as students dare each other to summon Hanako-san, their anxiety heightened by the uncertainty of what might answer. Teachers report unexplained absences and nervous behavior, while parents recall sleepless nights and tearful confessions. Yet, beneath the surface, the legend's true power lies in its ability to blur the boundary between imagination and reality, leaving children haunted by questions they cannot resolve. In the dimly lit corridors of a deserted school, the air grows heavy with anticipation. The ritual begins. Soft whispers echo against the tiled walls, each syllable barely audible, yet impossible to ignore. The bathroom door creaks open, its sound lingering, unsettling, as if announcing the arrival of something unseen. Shadows flicker, and the silence is punctuated by the faint drip of water, heightening the tension. Those who have witnessed the summoning speak of a cold presence, a feeling that something is watching from the darkness, waiting for the next victim. But what truly happens when the ritual is completed remains a mystery, whispered only among those brave enough to return. The school bathroom, once a mundane space, is now locked behind caution tape and heavy silence. Authorities found no trace of the missing child, only faint echoes and inexplicable cold spots lingering in the tiled corridors. Teachers whisper about the haunting presence, but official reports offer no answers. The legend of Hanako-san grows stronger, feeding off unanswered questions and the fear that something still waits behind the sealed door. To this day, the fate of the missing child remains an unsettling mystery, haunting the quiet halls and the minds of those who remember. Our investigation now turns to Dodomeki, a creature whose legend has haunted Japan for centuries. Described in ancient folklore as a monstrous figure covered in countless eyes, Dodomeki was said to punish those who stole, each eye representing a stolen coin. In recent years, this unsettling entity has been reimagined in modern horror media, its many eyes now symbols of paranoia and relentless surveillance. Police reports from isolated towns detail sightings of shadowy figures watching from abandoned alleyways, their presence marked by an inexplicable feeling of being observed. What happens when folklore bleeds into reality and the many-eyed monster refuses to stay confined to myth? The Dodomeki legend first emerged in the Edo period, woven into the fabric of Japan's haunted folklore. Described as a monstrous woman cursed with hundreds of eyes along her arms, the Dodomeki was said to be the result of a lifetime of theft, each eye representing a stolen coin, and each gaze a reminder of guilt that could never be hidden. In ancient texts, villagers spoke of feeling watched in the dead of night, the sensation of countless eyes peering from the darkness, waiting for a moment of weakness. The symbolism of the Dodomeki's eyes is chilling. They are not merely physical, but a manifestation of secrets and sins that linger, unseen yet ever present. Even today, locals whisper that the Dodomeki's gaze can pierce through shadows, exposing truths best left buried. But what happens when those eyes turn toward you and the past refuses to stay silent? In the chilling case of Don't Lie, investigators were drawn into the shadowed world of Junko, a reclusive hikikomori whose reality began to unravel. Her days were consumed by hallucinations, most disturbingly, the presence of the Dodomeki, a creature from Japanese folklore, its many eyes watching from every corner. Police reports detail Junko's descent, noting how she wandered through liminal spaces, unsure if the horrors she encountered were real or imagined. Interviews with neighbors recall strange noises and flickering lights from her apartment, but no one dared intervene. As Junko's grip on reality weakened, the boundaries between nightmare and waking life dissolved, leaving only unsettling questions about what truly haunted her and whether the Dodomeki ever left. In a dimly lit studio, we spoke with the lead developer of Don't Lie, whose vision brought the Dodomeki to life. He described drawing inspiration from ancient Japanese folklore, meticulously crafting the creature's many eyes to evoke a sense of constant surveillance and paranoia. According to the developer, players often report feeling watched, unsettled by the Dodomeki's silent gaze that follows them through shifting corridors. He recounted late-night playtests where even seasoned designers hesitated to confront the monster, its presence lingering long after the game ended. Yet, the true impact of Dodomeki remains elusive, raising the question, is it merely a digital phantom, or something far more insidious lurking beneath the code? Late one evening, a player known only as Yuki recounted her experience after playing Don't Lie. She described hearing faint, echoing whispers in her apartment even after the game had been closed. The sensation of being watched grew so intense that she refused to enter certain rooms, convinced that something unseen lingered in the shadows. Her account was corroborated by audio recordings, capturing inexplicable tapping sounds and a low, chilling hum. To this day, Yuki insists the game left a mark. one that cannot be explained, only endured. In recent years, the boundary between ancient folklore and modern technology has blurred, giving rise to a new breed of urban legends. Social media platforms, online forums, and viral videos have transformed once local tales into global phenomena, amplifying their reach and mutating their details with each retelling. Police reports now reference digital footprints and cryptic online messages, while eyewitness testimonies describe encounters not in shadowy alleyways, but in the flickering glow of smartphone screens. The digital age has not only accelerated the spread of these stories, but has also deepened their psychological impact, as the line between reality and fiction becomes increasingly difficult to discern. Yet, as these legends evolve, one question remains unanswered. Are we merely witnesses to their transformation, or participants in something far more sinister? In the dim glow of computer screens, players navigate haunted corridors, their footsteps echoing through digital liminal spaces. But outside the game, unsettling reports begin to surface. Accounts of shadowy figures glimpsed in empty hallways, whispers heard in abandoned stations, and inexplicable disappearances that mirror the horrors depicted on screen. Police files document strange sightings, while eyewitnesses recall moments when the game's monsters seemed to bleed into their waking lives. The line separating virtual terror from real-world dread grows thin, leaving investigators to question, where does the nightmare truly begin? As the evidence mounts, one disturbing truth remains. No one is certain what lurks beyond the flickering pixels. As anticipation for the psychological horror game Don't Lie grew, unsettling reports began to emerge from within the development studio. Team members described inexplicable phenomena: flickering lights, whispered voices echoing through empty corridors, and a growing sense of dread that seemed to seep into their daily lives. One programmer abruptly resigned, citing vivid nightmares of countless eyes watching from the shadows. The project was abruptly delayed, with official statements citing unforeseen circumstances. Yet, rumors persist. Did the team unwittingly awaken something far more sinister than a digital monster? The truth remains shrouded in silence, and the game's future is uncertain. Japanese horror legends possess a chilling resilience, echoing through generations and evolving with each retelling. As new media emerges, these stories adapt, finding fresh ways to infiltrate the collective imagination, whether through immersive video games, unsettling anime, or modern films. The spirits of Teke and Hanako-san linger not only in whispered folklore, but in digital landscapes and cinematic nightmares, their presence amplified by technology. Interviews with local residents reveal a persistent unease, as if the boundaries between myth and reality have grown thin. Even as the world changes, these legends refuse to fade, leaving us to wonder, what happens when the stories we fear most become impossible to escape? Japanese horror legends wield their power through psychological mechanisms that prey on our deepest fears. Isolation, a recurring theme, strips victims of comfort and connection, leaving them vulnerable in empty corridors or silent rooms. The unknown lurks in every shadow, manifesting as inexplicable phenomena or distorted figures that defy rational explanation. These stories exploit our instinctive dread of being watched, of encountering something we cannot understand or escape. As the line between reality and hallucination blurs, the terror becomes personal, forcing us to question what is real and what waits for us in the darkness. In the shadowed corridors of Japanese horror, ASMR has emerged as a powerful tool for heightening psychological tension. Whispered voices, echoing footsteps, and the subtle creak of doors become more than mere background. They draw the listener into the heart of the story, blurring the line between fiction and reality. Survivors often describe the sensation as chilling, as if the spirits themselves linger just beyond the veil, their presence felt in every breath and heartbeat. Police reports detail witnesses who claim to hear voices in empty rooms, the soundscape amplifying their fear and uncertainty. Yet, as the audio intensifies, one question remains. Are these sounds merely tricks of the mind, or evidence of something far more sinister lurking in the silence? Despite countless investigations and whispered stories, the mysteries surrounding these legends remain unresolved. Witnesses speak of fleeting shadows and chilling encounters, yet no definitive answers have ever surfaced. Police reports are filled with inconsistencies, and archived footage often ends abruptly, leaving more questions than explanations. What truly haunts the silent corridors and deserted streets of these towns? As the night deepens, one unsettling truth persists. Some secrets are never meant to be uncovered. As we reach the end of our investigation, one unsettling truth lingers. The boundary between myth and reality is far more fragile than we dare to believe. These legends, whispered in dark corridors and echoed through abandoned streets, persist not only in memory, but sometimes in the shadows of our everyday lives. The evidence, the testimonies, the inexplicable events, all suggest that some stories refuse to fade, haunting those who stumble upon them. In the cold silence of night, when the world feels empty and uncertain, we must ask ourselves, are we ever truly safe from what lies beneath? Perhaps in Japan's haunted towns and restless spirits, the tale is never really over.